This sketchbook has haunted me for years. I originally got it because my previous watercolor sketchbook was the same size as this one, and unlike how I had been so determined to finish the previous one in record time, with anatomy studies and figure drawings, this one was a slog almost 3 years in the making. I want it done, so done it shall be. No longer am I bound by mortal coils. I shall separate myself from this vessel of a sketchbook. All I require is finishing one final page. So join me. I'm going to treat this as a send-off with journal sketchbook mashupness where I draw everything I've stumbled upon recently or thought about. This doesn't mean that I love 100% every topic that I'm talking about. You will see why I make this disclaimer in 2 seconds. God, I'm really nervous, but that's okay. So, I went down the list and decided to start strong with the weird trend of stories I've ended up consuming, for better and for worse. Girls doomed by narrative cannibalism. Right to left, we have Manon from Dead Plate, a game that I played recently, Sumire from Jibaku Shonen Hanako-kun, a story that I've probably beaten to death at this point, and Julia. Remember the disclaimer, she's from a game I watched a playthrough of a year ago called The Coffin of Annie and Leyley. Do not leave yet, I have thoughts, and annoyingly to everyone they are multifaceted and multiplicitous. Okay, I watched a playthrough of the game when there was zero talk about it, so I had no context except, ooh, a Let's Player I like is playing it, and the art style reminds me of old RPG Maker horror games. Let's go. The game presents to you a dark comedy with absurdist characters in an absurdist world that I can only describe as ours, but the hypercapitalism is not trying to hide itself. Think some elements of Hello Charlotte's absurdity but toned down, a bit of Pocket Mirror playthrough elements, Mad Father-ish, shock value, and then Nemlei, the creator's psychological writing, and bada bing bada boom, you have the game. The main siblings, Andrew and Ashley, start off trapped in an apartment complex that's starving them and other residents so that their bodies can be harvested for the black market. Their parents, unbeknownst to these two, sold the siblings into it so that they could live their dream life in the suburbs. Great. As it stands, the latest chapter was the siblings hunting down and eating their parents, good old demon summoning rituals, and codependency. It's a lot. There's something so unbelievably fun watching characters acknowledged as terrible within a story be cartoonishly so. The interconnectedness of their past, especially with how their parents and peers treated them, to the present actions they present and their personalities is engrossing. The comic-esque sections of art are stunning, and in my opinion, right now, I wouldn't recommend the game. Which may seem weird, but here's the thing. It tackles a lot of sensitive topics, namely toxic and abusive codependencies, incest, cults, cannibalism, and murder. Combo of the century. And while cannibalism and murder in fiction have been thoroughly explored as ways to portray depraved expressions of emotion, romance, yada yada, it's viewed as this is bad in real life, but in fiction, it can be used to explore X, Y, and Z. The former topics, namely incest and abusive relationships, even though they are used to explore these same themes in fiction, also have mindsets around them that make it so that sometimes when they are presented, they are unfortunately, frequently fetishized and dismissed as actual serious issues. And that mindset is pretty ick for me. All of this is ick, but you get what I'm saying, right? It never read to me that the Coffin was portraying any of these topics in a healthy or gratuitously fetishistic manner. Every time these themes appeared, there were people within the game, sometimes the main characters themselves, who are horrified by their actions. Myself included. I felt crawled out of my skin. But that isn't to say it can't be taken in these ways. If you even glanced at any of the fan content or even some of the creator Nemlei's update drawings, yeah, Nemlei does not know the fear of God. Holy shit. Obviously, these ones are built to get a reaction out of people. A lot of it was in response to them getting harassed and almost being doxxed, which there is zero reason to compromise someone's physical safety. Oh my god. Just a lot of elements to it, but all this in mind, you see what I mean about the content surrounding the game? We haven't seen the full story of the coffin, and if it veers straight into that voyeuristic gaze within the next chapters, I don't feel comfortable recommending it to a wider audience at this point in time. I really want to wait it out before giving a consensus, because while I love the intricate, expressive writing, quite frankly, I've only felt okay recommending it to some friends who I knew could dissect the story with a critical lens, digest the intentional psychological discomfort of it, and move on with their day. I never want to introduce it as something you should play if I feel like it's just gonna haunt you. That's terrifying. There's beloved media that I cannot engage with whatsoever because of the way they discuss or romanticize certain themes. Think SA, predatory behavior, and incest. And just throwing a random group of people into a game like this without 100% knowing what I'm getting them into feels incredibly scummy and irresponsible. So yeah. By the way, who's Julia? Julia, and I may come to regret this statement in chapter 3, is currently the most normal human being in the story. Her and her sister seem like they're going to end up being the healthy foils to Ashley and Andrew. She was best friends with a girl who the main siblings ended up manslaughtering when they were younger, obviously unbeknownst to her, because she later ends up dating one of the siblings, Andrew, before breaking up with him once it hits her that he's going to keep prioritizing his sister over his own girlfriend. And that is the best decision I have ever seen a person make in this story. The moment I saw her appear on the screen, I gasped because God, Andrew fumbled hard. You had a girl that in high school and college said, I don't believe the rumors people say about you and your sister. Someone who stuck with you through all of it. But you still messed up badly enough for her to believe you are just as disgusting as they say. Man, bro fucking sucks. Don't get me wrong, I understand why Julia went for him though, because like when I saw the playthrough at first, I had a Julia moment myself where I was like, oh, Andrew's hot. And then I proceeded to regret that statement so hard. Either way, I am so excited that we're gonna get to play as Julia as a part of the next chapter. She's my favorite. You gave me a freckled softy girl with depression. Of course I was gonna be invested. I'm here for her. And also toxic sapphics in the form of Ashley x Julia. Don't even ask, okay? I don't know. The dopamine receptors in my brain decided that this was going to consume me just so they could laugh at my agony. And unfortunately, it worked. Get me out of here. I'm trapped in hell. Alright, I hope I tackle that with some nuance and sensitivity because I would not like to tackle topics in any other way. If there's something you'd change, please tell me so that I can take it into consideration and improve. And now, moving on to other spooks. Sumire, you know my spiel, or if you don't, I attached myself to her story so hard that I created a 50-minute video on it. Like a normal person, I'm slowly writing a lengthy follow-up comparing and contrasting her to Rin from Inuyasha because I thought it would be interesting to dissect the story in that way. Especially because I can address my grievances with Yashahime. Along with answering your lovingly long essay comments. Thank you so much for them. I love essay comments. Manon is up next. I gotta play through Dead Plate. I had so many reactions. Here's a condensed version of them. I'm giving you mine for the ride back so that this doesn't happen again. Okay, Mr. Fruit. Mr. fucking Fruit. Oh, that's so fucking cute. She's so dead. She's dead. Oh my god, adorable. Cute. Hey, guys, what the fuck? I've seen like bits and pieces of playthroughs of this game. The strawberry shortcake wasn't like this. Oh no. What the fuck? Wait, you called me here for work? Aw, nuts. Nuts, dude. Never mind, no romance. The dishes are on the kitchen counter. Are you kidding me? No. No. My like worst nightmare. This is my worst nightmare. We're working overtime? Unbelievable. Are we even getting paid for this? A coal-fired heart? Oh, buddy. Well, we got all 4 endings. God, I say fuck a lot more than I realized. Wow. Oh, I can't believe. Well, I can, but I usually watch more playthroughs of games than play through them because combining art with the videos in the background is second nature at this point. You know, we gotta maximize the distraction. But I really wanted to try the suffering of food service on my own terms, so I did. Agonizingly, I ended up having to replay a lot of the days because I missed one part of the guide to getting all the other 3 endings, but I did it. The story is based on hints you pick up throughout the game, which I usually like, but I do feel like some of the major elements of the plot are kinda lost throughout Dead Plate. Even then, it's still a really enjoyable experience. Here's some notes I made about it. Hello, I hope you like my very shaky camera. It's my phone. So, we've got a little drawing of Minmol here saying, love of my life, she ate, she was cooked, H, which I agree. She is super fun and also terrifying as a ghost. What was that? But so true, so true. And then we have on the other side of Dead Plate notes the bathtub, because those lines, like, I don't know what it is, but it cracked me up so bad because it just kept going. You clicked on this bathtub in the game and it just kept going about all the details of why Rhodey hated it, and something about it just, it appealed to me, you know, it had a je ne sais quoi. I have no idea actually what that semblance of words means, but anyways, we have Rhodey, also love of my life. This looks like a like it says BLs BLs, which, you know, considering the context of the game, would check out, but what it actually says is just buys buys. He is great buy rep. We do love to see it. In my heart of hearts, Vince is the most ace arrow motherfucker alive. He is a very gay ace arrow. I mean, canonically he is gay, but arrow ace is up in the air. Let's see here. We could win. We could win. We could. You know, hypothetically. Let's see. Other notes. Very short. Oh, sorry, excuse me. Very fun, short experience. Gameplay is a pain, but I survived. Yeah, that I did make it. I made it through. I suffered, but I did it. So yeah, those are the Dead Plate notes. Next up is Married in Red. I went down a Studio Investigrave rabbit hole and have played or watched playthroughs of every single game. Married in Red's whole revenge plot is Boksu, my arrow ace beloved. My notes. The dog leash thing got me so bad because I was like, what? No, I don't want to cut, no. And then, you know, the little like, oh, sorry, that sounds wrong. Here's what I actually meant. That's fun. I'm also a sucker for the big sprites as opposed to the chibi ones in Dead Plate. It adds a unique layer to the game. Also because, like, ooh, baby, wow, that patient, they're not scrubbed in for OR. Okay, but both of y'all are not scrubbed up. What is this? The hair's out. Y'all are not wearing, I don't know. Where's the sterile gown? Where's the sterile gown? Oh my god. Y'all, no wonder the patient died. I mean, I know they fucking stabbed the patient, but like, y'all were gonna get them an infection anyways. I know it doesn't matter, but like, ooh, I had thoughts. It's fine. It's a game. It's meant for fun. It's silly funny so you can recognize the characters. In that moment, I get it. There is no issue. Playing through Elevator Hitch made me feel so smart because, ooh, it is so satisfying to connect all the puzzle pieces in this absurdist corporate elevator ride. Also, Cold Front is so cute. Fuck, it's so warm. Haha. Even though it's a cold front. It has such cozy winter vibes and also these really cutesy designs. Mwah, love it. Kiss. I love these two. Friendship and potential kiss ship of it all. Eloquent Consequence was one I had to watch through like the tiniest screen because, ooh, these faces are terrifying. I do love me a good freeze frame though. This one is pretty fun. God! And now we have random fandom doodles. We have Jiun and Yeonho because I'm reminiscing on old otome that have my heart. These two are from a Cheritz games. They're the same creators of Mystic Messenger. I have these games and I'm so excited to replay them. Messy plots, terrible love interests, and all. You can't escape them in any otome. I'm sure I'll make a video on them eventually. I quite literally grew up with these characters from like 11 years old, so the investment in them is real. Nemlei's No Good Noel is what I drew next, and unlike the tentativeness I have over recommending The Coffin, this is a visual novel that, like, from my memory, I would lovingly recommend to others. I, like, adore it with all my heart, from, again, my memory. It has wild dialogue that makes you absolutely cackle, and I don't think it always hits. Like, I have my critiques, very much so, but the snowy aesthetic, gorgeous colors, and yes, Yule X Noel and a bit of Noel X Ivy, but mostly Yule X Noel's odd domesticity is highly appealing, right up my alley. God, they're so weird and terrible, and I love them. Noel's blue freckles too. Wow. I'm noticing a theme. They're cute. There's some really good fics too. I didn't expect No Good Noel to have fics, but here we are. I have a lot of the same thoughts with Better Half. I did a whole doodle on a separate page, but basically Better Half is a classic, the same person gets split into two kind of story with a surprising amount of magical lore and plot intermixed within the whole loving and hating yourself being externalized. It's so weirdly sincere and endearing because the main character's Theo is someone who is incredibly depressed and wants to get all the negative aspects of himself, his suicidal thoughts, all away from him. And thus, when his soul is split into two, so are his positive and pessimistic traits. I really love, though, that even with the split, it doesn't stop the positive side of him from gaining negative traits again. It just takes what was already there, not stopping any of the negativity that could happen in the future. To be warned that the story deals with suicidal ideation and self-harm, it never felt out of place or poorly done to me, but that's also because I have my own lens and tolerance for comedy around these subjects. You have yours, and I respect that. Something about all these different endings, how Theo yearns for connection and friendship and finds ways to uplift or belittle himself depending on the choices you make, the depression and depiction of spirals, executive dysfunction, and smooth-flowing dialogue. As always, nemlei kicks ass at dialogues, dude. It just really resonates. Also, because it's an nemlei game, obviously one of the options is to date yourself, which is really funny. Like, this is the CG that's shown. Loser marries himself and dies at 40. Their life force is like split in half, so basically if they get together and don't like actually merge together, it's, yeah, they're digging themselves an early grave. Man, nemlei, I'm about to shake nemlei like a fucking sriracha. It's super fun, weirdly insightful, and I just love this CG where they're working through sad thoughts under a blanket. Yeah. I'm looking into Devalethian and Jack in the Castle at some point too. Like I'm slowly digging up the stories. I just finished Devalethian and have, my little thoughts. They're in a separate sketchbook though, because this one is finished, so I guess you'll have to wait on that, and I will have to wait on talking about it, so it's fine. Lynn, oh, I'm gonna shake this man. What the fuck is up? I finished this page with random doodles, as all people can and could finish their sketchbooks with. A little Manon ghost and all. I did not know this girl was Manon when I first saw her, and I reacted appropriately. I hate that so much. I really, really hate that. Oh, good. Great. Oh, no. Thank you to Kate for sensitivity reading the Coffin of Andy and Leyley part for sensitivity. I didn't expect this sketchbook send-off to contain nearly as much random fandom as it did, but what can you do? You get invested in the things you get invested in. I'm sure there will be more to come. By the way, do y'all want a sketchbook tour? It's like a giant book, and I did not set it up in a sketchbook tour friendly way, but I would be happy to suffer for you all as a content creator should. But by the way, thank you for loving my Amy and Callum short video thing. If you have Amy and Callum suggestions in the future, I will draw them so hard. They own my heart. I gotta come up with video ideas to excuse me drawing them forever. Bye.